not everything is meant to stay, my friend. And deep down you already know that. You felt the weight of holding on, the quiet pull of something new waiting to enter. But you've also questioned yourself, wondering if letting go means giving up or if persistence means progress. And it caused a bit of confusion in your heart. So my friend, this is your sign right now to trust, to stop grasping at what no longer holds you back the same way you hold it. If you've been asking for clarity, may this message be an answer to you. With this message today, I'm playing to you the painting Transcendence. I've painted some time ago, but it's a symbol of an open heart that symbolizes trust and kind of surrender to this deep pull that we feel within. Sometimes we feel it as something right to do, and sometimes we feel as something just to do. So may this painting be a support to the message that I have for you today. So there's many different reasons why we're letting go, but sometimes the confusion may be like, is it time to be persistent or is it time to actually let go? And I've recognized that to let go of something, that we are ready to let go, is when holding on to that whatever thing drains us more than it inspires us, and this is a huge sign. Also, when the signs around you constantly point in another direction and you kind of feel actually inspired to move on or to do something new, to start something new. Or you're trying to force something that no longer feels aligned with who you are becoming. Because the fact is that if you're growing, you're changing. And if you're changing, also your values are changing. And therefore you're not aligned with same people, same things, same hobbies than you've been in the past. And that's when we just need to identify that and notice, okay, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to maybe move to a new place, to change a job, to let go of these people or whatever it is. And how to know when to persist, when you're sometimes confused, like, should I let go or should I persist in this? Well, when challenges feel like growth rather than suffering, it's a good sign that you should persist. When the fire inside you still burns, even if it's dimly, it's maybe a sign of exhaustion, but not of a need to let go of it. Like, sometimes I thought I should stop painting. Sometimes I thought I should stop making videos. But I've recognized later I was just exhausted. I was just drained, or I was lacking inspiration and I needed some rest. I needed some break. Also, you can know that the obstacle feel like test, not a roadblock. That's how you know that you need to be persistent, not just to quit. Because sometimes people quit something that's actually aligned with their purpose just because there's many tests and it's hard and they're not succeeding the way they would like. So you need to understand that sometimes test is not a sign of resistance. It's a sign that you need to build new skills and new knowledge to move on. So there will be times when the road ahead feels heavy and uncertain, and times when something deep within urges you to keep going. The key is learning to listen. Let go when holding on drains you more than it inspires you. When the signs around you consistently point elsewhere, or when you're forcing something that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. Persist when challenges feel like growth, when the fire inside you still burns, even if dimly. Yeah, persist, my friend. And even when obstacles feel like tests, not dead ends. Letting go isn't failure, it's trust. Persistence isn't stubbornness, it's faith. The universe speaks in whispers and storms, and you need to be still enough to hear it. And sometimes it's a challenge because of this, world of constant distractions. So, my friend, be reminded, it's okay to outgrow people, places, and things. It's okay for them to outgrow you too as well. It's all okay. Just detach because you're ready to move on. And also allow yourself to grieve when there's the loss of what you're letting go of. You can't heal what you don't let yourself to feel. And sometimes when we're letting go of something we've been attached to, obviously we will feel a bit strange. We'll feel a bit emotional, like something I've been sharing with you yesterday. Something I'm letting go right now. And I've noticed, actually it feels great, but you're also quite emotional because you're letting go of something that was such a huge part of your story. And yeah, it kind of creates some kind of a hole inside of you that is not literal, but it just makes you reflect life. And when you reflect your past, obviously you become a bit emotional, and that's how we grieve. That's how we reflect on something that made us, and that's completely okay to take time with it. But then the point is that you actually, what you're letting go of, you're also replacing it for something more meaningful, more purposeful. You don't just end up without nothing. You end up with more purpose, more meaning, and less distraction. This is the point of letting go. It's alignment, not just detachment. It's alignment, and alignment means you remove what doesn't serve you anymore and you add what propels you, right? What feeds you with life. And also ask yourself on this path, my friend, is what I'm holding on to also holding on to me? And answer honestly, because sometimes when you're letting go of people, they are actually holding on to you, and they try to kind of make you rethink your decisions. Sometimes it happens to young adults who decide to move away from their parents, and their parents are like, no, but you have, a wonderful home here. You have a great place to be. You're safe here. Everything is fine here. Why are you moving away? Well, because I'm looking for an adventure in life, or whatever it is, right? You need to notice that sometimes people try to manipulate you just because they don't approve your decisions. That's how you know that they are actually holding on to you. And maybe you've been in their shadow and you were not aware of that before, until you've started rethinking your life. It often happens to people, also in relationships. And well, when a person is trying to influence you to think differently, but that pulls you away from your nature, maybe that's a red flag. Think about this. And as you move on this path, my friend, learn to forgive yourself for your part in how things ended, just like you forgave them so many times. Have you noticed that it's sometimes easier to forgive others than forgiving to yourself? Sometimes for staying too long in the comfort zone, sometimes for repeating destructive habits for too long, sometimes for being too maybe negative towards yourself, maybe too critical. Like, critical thinking is one of the most incredible qualities we need to build, but sometimes when we are too critical, when we're too focused on our past and our future, we miss the progress that we've done that is visible in the present moment. In my coaching sessions, I've noticed that people have one of the biggest struggles noticing their good qualities, and they're showing them all the time. When I talk with them, I say, just in this conversation, I've noticed at least 5 of your very incredible qualities, and they're like, What are they? I never see them. And sometimes when we're too focused on what is ending or what is going on, we actually miss what makes us special, what makes us stand out. But if we would focus more on what makes us us, we would recognize that this is our true identity. And when we notice that, we notice, okay, I'm here to build this. I'm here to build my life around this. I'm here to serve in these qualities. And that's a good progress we can do, to start actually noticing also the things that are going right. And yeah, sometimes it takes time to forgive ourselves for being too hard on ourselves, or just for your part in how things are ending. Whatever it is, especially relationships, sometimes it's a bit tough. And when you move on, you recognize you're still holding on to some grudges, to some anger, to some frustration, and it's time to forgive. Also ask yourself, why am I still holding on? Whatever it is, why am I still holding on? Does it truly feel good, or is it just familiar? And this one is huge, especially when it comes to our emotions. Like, let's think about your state of being you spend most of your time in your day. Is it because it's familiar to you, or is it because something is constantly happening in your life that is triggering you to feel this way? Because sometimes people say to me, I want to change. Like, I'm committed to change. But when you talk about what it takes to change, you notice that they actually don't want to change, because they are addicted to how they are feeling most of the time, because it serves them. So we need to recognize that how we feel serves us, but do we still want to stay there? Because if being in the comfort zone and being a bit dreamy and not so productive serves you because it protects you from potential danger, most probably you will not commit to change that would free you and make you more abundant or excited or joyful. And you need to recognize that maybe stepping out of comfort zone would serve you even more than staying in the comfort zone. Those are the things to reflect many times. Does it truly feel good, or is it just feel familiar? Just ask yourself when you're moving through a certain transition in your life, because, well, the universe will bring you more tests, so your life will become so uncomfortable that you will need to decide something. But make sure you decide based on what will provide you growth rather than just pleasure. And also remember that relationships don't need to last forever to serve their purpose. We all know that we have seasonal people in our lives, and we have people who are with us for life, right? And all people have purpose. Some people are just seasonal. So relationships don't need to last forever to serve their purpose. Just know that. Because sometimes you meet someone whom would you describe as a soulmate, but at some point you may notice, okay, now we are growing into different directions, and you recognize maybe that was just for this season of your life. Things like that are happening. It's same with business partners. It's same with friends. Some are in our lives just for a certain season. Some are in our lives just when we're moving through transformation. And some are in our lives for life, and they are growing with us. They have similar values, similar drives, similar vision for life, and you just align with them. And sometimes the only closure you will get is accepting that the past can't change, and that is okay. Well, your perception of the past can change if you dive in and you reframe what happened based by what truly happened, because most of our memories are made up because when we made them, we were not maybe wise enough yet. So now when you reflect the past, you can notice that actually it's a bit different than how you think it was. But you can't change what happened. So the best thing you can do is to move on and create new memories that will be better. right? Stop holding on to the past because it's gone, it's in the past. And many times when people are holding on to the past way too much, what they lack is a sense of future, like where they are going, sense of goals. They don't have prioritized goals. And if you actually prioritize goals and make a vision for the future out of it, you will start to feel driven to tap into the future, to walk towards the future. And suddenly the reason to stay in the past will kind of dim. You will notice there's so many reasons to look forward, to look up towards what's coming, and to find the most incredible joy in making it happen. So you fall in love with the process rather than just, dwelling into the past. That's how the real letting go happens. And also remember that letting go is also letting in. Making room for something new is always hard, but it's always worth it as well. So letting go is also letting in. When you release something from the past, you also open up so something new can come. And sometimes people are like, oh, my life is falling apart. I've started dreaming about my future and my life started falling apart. But I'm like, you know what? That's how you're making space for something new. Allow it to fall apart. So the new can come. The new can't come if you're still holding on to something old. And this is just the process of change. This is just the process of change. You need to learn to trust the timing of your life. Just because something ends now doesn't mean it was never meant to be, right? Some things are only meant to be part of your story, for a chapter, not the whole book. And it means that, well, if you're going through hard times, it will pass. They will end at some point. And good times will come, but also good times will end. So don't hold on to good times as well. The point is that in life you learn to be more detached from how you're reacting to life. What's your inner interpretation of events? Because that's what defines them. Sometimes when you're moving through life, you're like, oh, right now I'm having good time. And you feel grateful, but then bad times come and you're not grateful anymore, right? You need to remember that when universe blesses you with wonderful times, it also blesses you with what you say bad times. It's all a blessing because it is feeding transformation that's meant to happen. And this is the timing of your life. So everything can be a blessing or everything can be a burden. And when you learn to reframe this story, how you're describing events in your life, you learn to gain your power back, because your power truly is in observation, not reaction. So learn to release the need for all the answers, because sometimes when bad things are happening, you don't have answers for them. And sometimes when you're wondering how will you get that money to actually pay that mentorship or that training program for what you're passionate about, or buy a new house or move to a new place, you don't need all the answers. Sometimes answers come as you're looking for options and moving on. You don't need to sit at home and wait that clarity will come. Some endings won't make sense right now. Trust that clarity will come in its own time. It doesn't mean to be passive and to wait. It means keep changing what is in your power to change and keep moving on. Keep following that dream, that goal of yours. And at the right time, as you're looking for options, as you're using your creativity, it's your God-given gift to you, your creative imagination, as you're using your creativity for looking for all kinds of different options, you will find out how to come to that destination that we call destiny, right? So letting go doesn't mean you failed or that it didn't work out. It means you're brave enough to choose yourself, your pace, and your growth. That's what true letting go is. Sometimes people think that if I let go of, constant trying of something that doesn't work, that they failed. But actually, you've chosen yourself, your pace, and your growth. Maybe what you've been fighting for was never meant for you. But you only know it if it's bringing nothing else but suffering. When suffering brings you growth, and growth brings you wisdom, and wisdom can bring you more growth, then you know that suffering is worth it, and sometimes you need to carry your cross. But sometimes you're suffering only because you want to suffer, because it's familiar. And that's when you need to make a change. And you need to close certain doors and open some new ones. So my friend, this is the path of letting go, trusting life, moving on and opening your heart so you can feel that freedom of yours that is planted into your heart, and you can spread the wings like the ones in the painting. So your heart can bloom and your life can flourish, because you are made to flourish. Yeah, and you deserve it. One more time, you deserve it. Now, one more time, you deserve it all, my friend. Yes, you do. All the love, all the peace, all the joy, all the bliss, all the creativity, all the flow, you deserve it all. So go for it, because you deserve it. I will leave you here. To anyone who would like to get a print of today's painting, you can go on AttractPassion.com and type in the search Transcendence, and you will find one. You will find it in different sizes. Also check out all other paintings. If any of it resonates with you, it means its energy, its frequency has something to give you. Each painting has its own story, and you can read the stories in the description of each painting and see if it speaks to you. Art is always it's like a portal. It holds within something that, when it speaks to you, when it resonates with you, it has an energy that can support your journey, your transformation. So check out which one speaks to you the most. And also big thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community for more exclusive content. Check it out. The link is in the description of this video. And till next time, one love.